Call to order. Roll call, please.
Judge Deskins?
Here.
Magistrate Anderson? Magistrate Johnson? Magistrate Johnson?
Here.
Magistrate Murphy?
Here.
Magistrate Robinson? Magistrate Dotson?
Here.
Magistrate Burney?
Here. All right. Leo, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? All right. Approval of the minutes of April the 19th, 2016. Need a motion.
Motion.
Second. Roll call, please.
Magistrate Anderson? Magistrate Johnson? Magistrate Murphy?
Yes.
Magistrate Robinson? Magistrate Dotson?
Yes.
Magistrate Burney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. All right. Public comment. Come to the podium for public comment. State your name, address, and concerns. You have 10 minutes to state your concerns. Fiscal court comments, take action if any needed. John Thacker.
Good morning, Judge. Good morning to everybody here at Fiscal Court Matters. My name is John Thacker, and I live at Hidden Valley Subdivision on the Hurricane. And I was up here about a month ago. I ain't going to take much time. And I got a road blocked down there. Now they parked a camper back down there on the side of the road. And they got the 2x10s in the ditch. And Mr. Hayes, I have a lot of respect for him as a person, as an attorney. And he said he would write them a letter and ask them to remove whatever they got on county property. And as far as I know, that letter's never been wrote. And I wonder why is the reason you ain't wrote it, Mr. Hayes?
There is a draft of the letter that has been prepared. We were trying to figure out how to get it to all the residents of Hidden Valley. I mentioned that to you the last time we talked, which is, what, a week ago?
Yeah, something like
That was a problem, and that I had resolved just to write a general letter to all residents, including you, with a copy of the plat that was recorded when that subdivision was created, which reflects a 30-foot road width, and that will be done. John, we've been a bit busy trying to balance a budget and find several $1 million, and I have been absolutely wrapped up in that. So the letter is drafted. It hadn't gone out yet, but it will.
I got one more question, I'll take my seat. If you got somebody here today, and I'll get a telephone book from Harold, section in it, and I'll give you the names out of it, whoever, write them down, their address. You don't have no problem mailing it to them.
It was my thinking that rather than mailing them, because sometimes the address in the phone book is not the mailing address, you're well aware of that, and you'll just get those letters back, just to have the road commissioner drop one off at each house.
Well, one more question I asked, and I'll sit down. I want to apologize coming here to the Fiscal Court. But how long will they have when you write that letter that they got to remove this stuff off in the county property?
I can't answer that directly because some may say, to heck with you, I'm not moving anything, and it might involve a lawsuit, and that may take any amount of time. You know, the wheels of justice in court grind exceedingly slow, and so how can I answer that? If somebody voluntarily removes whatever is obstructing the 30-foot right-of-way, which the county has, then it would be done in a relatively short amount of time, John. But, you know, and if people don't, you know, what do? You file a suit. That's all you can do.
Well, I agree with you, and, but like Mr. Dodson said last time I was here a month ago, he said he don't need me to come in every fiscal court. You know, if we can't get something done, I'll be back, and I hope that we get the letter out, and I hope they get the stuff off from county property, and I hope we get it ditched down there. And I noticed Jeff, my magistrate, Jeff Anderson, and his crew was on Patrick Court last week down there ditching, and I can't see why there's a reason we can't get some work done down there.
John, I think you misunderstood me by saying that you shouldn't have to come to the fiscal court every night. What I'm saying is, if we've got a problem, we should go ahead and take care of it. You shouldn't have to be bothered with running, you know, if there's a violation on our county road and it's a blockage, then we should open it up.
Okay. Thank you for your time. Thank you, Judge. And
Thank you. All right, Darrell Sloan.
I want to thank the court for letting me speak. My name's Darrell Sloan, and I live at Kemper. I live right before you get to Gableford. And we got this old, the dilapidated house, they call it, I guess. That's a $10 word to me, you know. But anyway, the house has caved in, and it's a fire hazard. And if that house catches on fire, my neighbors are over there, they're going to lose their home. And if it's late at night, they could possibly lose their life. And plus, it's got snake hatchery. I killed one myself in my garage, and if I hadn't seen it, I'd got bit. And if it'd been one of my grandkids, they could have died from it. And then the lady that used to live over from me, Miss West, she almost went out on her porch and stepped on a rattlesnake. And them boys, when they lived well, they killed a lot of snakes. I mean, a lot of rattlesnakes. So if she hadn't seen it, she could have got bit and she would have died. She got her neighbor come over and kill him. Well, just tell you how bad it was. My neighbor told me that the guy owns it, Terry Williams. He said, if you come over to my house and I'm still laying on the couch, don't bother me because there's a copperhead laying on my chest. I mean, and then we got the rats. I killed one rat that was in my basement. I heard something down in the basement and I went down there and there was a rat, and I guarantee you, tail and all, it was 2 foot long. So I killed it with a pistol. What it done, he had eaten under my door, so I had to get a metal door put up and to keep them from coming in there. And now we got the fence and up there. They were made to put a fence up, and now the wind is blowing the tin apart. And like my neighbor, Randy Coleman, told me, we was talking about, he said, Darrell, it's not if somebody's going to get hurt or killed, it's just a matter of time. So I come over here and I talked to you, didn't I, Mr. Morse, about it. Mr. Morse said that, he talked to Mr. Mullen, asked him how much it'd be, and Mr. Mullen said about $10,000. And Mr. Morse said, we can't pay that. Did you not say that?
I said it wasn't in the budget at this time to pay. That's what I said.
Well, let me ask the court here. These people over from me has got a 12-month-old baby. Why I have a problem, I got PTSD, you know, and I have a problem speaking. So what I'm saying, does the court think that baby's life's not worth $10,000? Because we got a nuisance law that's supposed to take care of that. Are we putting a price on people's life? Do all you people think that baby's life not worth $10,000? Huh? Answer. You're
Well, you can't put a price on a baby's life. You know that.
Well,
Not asking us. You know, we value human lives more than anything. And we went in there last year, I believe, or a year before last, and cleaned up a mess. Bobby, how much was involved in that?
We took 80 ton of trash out front of that building over there. I believe it's either last year or year before last one, I don't remember exactly. And at that time, the building had not collapsed. One end of the building had not collapsed. But we talked to Mr. Sloan the other day and tried to explain we don't have the money in the budget for dilapidated housing. We've got about 15 houses on record to try to tear down, and Magistrate Johnson, we have one up in his district up there at Little Branch. He's been trying to get tore down for a year and a half, and we ain't had the money to do it. We've got all the legal work done on that, and I explained to Mr. Sloan, you know, we have to have a lawyer, we have to do the research, and we have proper procedures to go through, and we just don't have the money in our budget to do it. Now, if we had the money in the budget, we don't have a piece of equipment to tear it down with. Our old excavator was wore out, and it was sold in the last auction. If the court could find about $50,000 and give me the money to lease a piece of equipment with, then we'll proceed and we'll try to do these projects. But until then, we ain't got anything to work with, and that's just where we're at. And I don't deny that what he's saying, the end of the old building has fell in, the whole upper end of it's fell in, and it is an eyesore. But we have to have money to work with, and we just don't have it. So that's where we're
Is
at.
it something, what all you need, Bobby, to do that? I mean, just an excavator and a truck or something?
We gotta have an excavator, and you'd need one that's with tracks on it, Jeff, because of, you know, you take rubber tires in there, you're gonna get flats and things,
Right.
and then we're gonna have to have trucks to haul it out of there with, and right now, we're so short on manpower even. I don't even know how we could even do it, so, but,
Is it something maybe we could do, I mean, one of our road lots, or?
I think Bobby discussed with me, it had a lot of legal issues that you had to go through, get
you've got
attorneys.
legal
and-
issues you've gotta deal with, and John Doug's aware of all these too, so,
Jeff, I've got the equipment over there, the excavators and the end loaders, but I don't have nothing with steel tracks on it. But thing is, we've got to find out, there's a tax lien on it. You said, Mr. Sloan, about what, $16,000 owed on it?
Well, he's got two places, and
But we'd have to go through the court, and always we do that when we go in and tear down the house. We'd have to clear that up, what we, John Doug, to get permission, and we claim the property once we go in and clean it up.
Yeah, the procedure is set forth in our ordinance. It's actually the public nuisance ordinance that this court amended a number of years ago to add what is commonly referred to as dilapidated housing. It's actually dilapidated buildings. This is not a house, it was a store building, I believe. I had actually, and by the way, the legal procedure, Magistrate Dotson, is the property owner must be notified by mail and given 30 days to clean it up. And in that same correspondence, that property owner would be told that if he or she failed to take action, the county would, pursuant to that ordinance, come in, do it, and then would have the right to assert a lien against the property, put it on record, a lien down in the clerk's office. Then what would happen is, by the way, the amount of the lien would be the actual amount for equipment, personnel, and so forth, the actual cost of removing the dilapidated building. After that, to enforce that lien, they just don't get enforced automatically. You have to again go to court to enforce the lien to recover the money that the county would have expended in that project. But it's not a matter of going to court to get it done. By the way, in addition to the letter, what we had done in the past, and we've done a number of these around the county, probably in each magisterial district has had, to my knowledge, I believe they have been, but what we have to do and what was done in the past, money was budgeted for an attorney who did title work to give us a title. We have to make sure by the Constitution of the United States and the Commonwealth of Kentucky that we give all property owners notice before we take any action. There again, there's no money in the budget for someone to do those title abstracts. The court may recall that we used an attorney here in Pikeville by the name of Frank Knoll. Frank Knoll is now retired and moved down into the Lexington-Nicholasville area. So that's more of an expenditure. I will say, and I don't remember who brought it to my attention, it might have been Mr. Sloan or somebody else, a number of weeks ago, and when it was brought to my attention, this building that Mr. Sloan is talking about, I went and talked to Bobby Mullins. We had a long conversation, and Magistrate Dotson, one of the things that I suggested was that we could get trucks probably from your lot to haul the debris to the dump. Then Commissioner Mullins said, well, we don't have an excavator that's properly equipped, that is steel tracks and whatever goes on the end of it to pick that debris up. We don't have one of those equipped with that, even if we could get one in there, so we'd have to lease one. And when I left that meeting that day, the long and short of it was just what is said today. This court has not funded a line item in the budget to get all that done. Now, if there's an excavator we could use and use trucks from your lot, maybe we could go ahead and get it done. But
John, we've got 2 excavators, but they're both rubber tires. You know, if we had a little dozer or something to push it out to where they could load it without getting in all the nails and everything, we've got trucks and things that we could use, but, you know, we've got to get this legal from the courts till we, you know, Darrell, you said before that when the men go in there, they better be careful not to get into problems with the landowners. And
I didn't say that.
I think you told me that them people were kindly hard to deal with, and they could be trouble. Wasn't that what it said, Bobby? I think Bobby had to kindly.
I think you all brought it up because you said you were going to have the sheriff there, and you had a deputy there.
I think Bobby had to get some kind of a.
We had to have a sheriff up there because
I didn't say it.
they had threatened us to have some trouble with it. But also in talking about his Hillman and the excavator, you have to have a bucket with a thumb on it to pick this material up with. So does your excavators have thumbs on them or anything?
They don't have thumbs, they just got buckets.
Okay, it wouldn't pick it up. You'd have to have them.
if I may, Judge, ask the treasurer a question. Is there any money whatsoever in any line item in our budget that we could maybe help use to address this problem?
There's $2,500 for dilapidated housing in the budget.
They are.
All right, yeah, we just found that as we've been going through this budget, that's the reason I asked. I wanted you to know there was 2,500. Now, that's not 10,000. I don't know where that, but if we could use, and I guess I'm getting far afield for a lawyer here, but I'm just offering. I think what we could do, if I can suggest, since we do have 2,500, we could get a title abstract. That's what we have to identify who the true property owner is. That is a surface title, and it shouldn't take an abstractor very long to do that, and would be done probably for, I'm just going to guess, maybe $200. I don't remember what Frank Knoll charged, but that would be in the ballpark, $200 or $300. We've at least, we can do that and send out the letter. Then the equipment part, I'll leave that to better minds than me.
Well, what the
John,
problem is, we got other projects just like in Chick's district that we've already got all the legal work done. We're just waiting for money to go and do the projects with. Are you going to move? So are we going to go ahead and move this project ahead of all these others is what the question would be.
I'm not getting into that argument. That's up to the court.
John, I'm gonna make a motion that we go ahead and have the Frank Knoll. I think there's still people over in his office do a title abstract on the property and get that cleared up, and then we'll deal with cleaning it up afterwards.
Well, you might as well say for me to go do it because, because that's who I'm sure would be asked to do it. But, you know,
If you can do it, it'd save us some money.
hey, for you, Hillman, I'd try.
I'm gonna second the motion before John Doe changes his mind.
Get a roll. Got a motion second. Rose.
But Darrell, I drive by that every day, and I know it's a bad situation.
Well,
And you got to look at it, and you know it's tough. You got things on both sides you're looking at and dealing with.
Yeah.
And you know the problem you had, you talking about across the creek there, and then in front of you, and you know I just would like to see it done. And we went in there a couple years ago and cleaned up all that mess. And like he said, how many ton was it we got out of there?
80 ton.
80 ton. And that, we run into a problem with the coal company on that because they owned the lower end of it. And they told Bobby, and Bobby had to put drains in the ditch line to get in there to get it out. And it was a mess. It looks better now than it did, but I agree the house needs tore down.
But, you're talking about the money. Well, I asked Mr. Mullins, I said, how much did Terry Williams pay for you, pay for that over there? Having that cleaned up?
Pardon, I didn't hear the
Terry
question.
Williams, did you send him a bill on that? Where you cleaned that up?
Did we send him a bill? That's an airship land, and we couldn't just send it to one particular person.
Well, he
you
owns
know.
it though. Him and his brother owns it. Aren't they responsible to pay, under this nuisance law?
It's in the estate of his dad. It's in an estate. It's not just
So
he
you,
owns it.
you don't,
No,
you
I
charge?
haven't seen
How many of these jobs that you say you've done?
How many have we done?
Yeah,
I don't know how many we have done. I haven't really counted them, but
You-
we've done several since I've been here. Then there was a great number of them done in years
Great number.
past. Yeah.
you showed me a stack there in your office, didn't you? Remember when we met, me and you and Mr. Morris met? And I'm just guessing, and if I'm wrong, you tell me, I say there are about 50 of them, aren't you?
Yeah, I'd say. Yeah.
And how much money have you collected?
Since I've been here, I collected $10,000 off from one, and then I collected some off from that one up there that you're talking about that the coal company paid for, you know, so. But on those other ones in years past, I don't know what they've done.
Well, I was thinking, I may be wrong, but 50, and it costs $10,000, isn't it $500,000?
Well, there's some of them cost us more, some cost us less, just like the project that you're talking about up there is, that one building is cinder block. The more tonnage you've got, the more it's gonna cost to do one, you know.
Right.
And you may be able to go in and clean up one just like what Chick's got up there. You could probably do it for $2,500, you know, because it's an old trailer and so forth. Right. But the more tonnage that you've got, the more it's going to cost. See, even though this goes in the landfill and you're using our own equipment, we're paying men every day to run these trucks, and we're pay excavator operators. You got to pay tipping fees at the landfill, and you got to send the state $1.75 per ton for every ton we put in there every day. So depends on how many tonnage you got and how much it's going to cost.
We have a
What would you
motion.
say? Excuse me, go ahead.
Go ahead, Judge.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Jessica?
Yes.
Mr. Sloan, what that was to go ahead and get the legal work started on
Well, I've got one
starting.
more question, and I'll sit down. How much did you tell me if I get, how much money I give you that you'd have that cleaned up?
That you'd give me?
Yeah,
I didn't,
you didn't say that?
no money to give me.
You didn't
No.
say, you didn't, Bobby, you was right, did he say that?
No, he said if you could get your neighbors to pitch in and give the court the money to do it with, because we didn't have the money in the budget.
But to
is
give
what he
me
said.
personally,
How much was that?
I don't know about that.
Bobby estimated it being $10,000, and I asked you to go around and talk to your neighbors to see if you could raise some money for the cause. And if you could raise the money for the cause, that I would talk to the court here to try to come up with the rest to take care of this issue. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, but how much did you say?
Bobby estimated that $10,000.
Well, you asked me to raise $10,000.
No, I did not.
How much?
I asked you to go raise what you could raise and come back.
No. And, Mr. Hayes, let me ask you a question. Did Chris Hurst call and talk to you about that project?
He did.
What did he ask you?
I don't remember the specifics of the conversation. He just said that you had called him and talked to him about it. I told him that I was aware of it and that we would look into it and see if there's anything we could do.
Did he tell you I offered him $2,500?
You know, I heard that figure somewhere. I don't remember if that was mentioned or not in that conversation, but I've heard that figure floated around here.
Did Mr. Hurst tell you that?
I said I don't remember him saying that.
Well, I'll tell you what he told me. I called and asked him, because Chris Hurst is a good friend of mine. I called and asked him, and he said he talked to you. And he said, I told him, I said, I'll pay $2,500. He said, well, they'll be glad to get that. And then he calls me back and says he talked to you, and you said that you'd talk to Bobby and you could do that for $2,500. Now, I'll give you $2,500.
I don't, now that you said that, what I recall was that he was the one that first mentioned the $2,500 figure. Yes,
Yeah.
he did mention that.
Yeah.
And I simply responded, well, Chris, I hadn't heard that before. That's the first time I ever heard the $2,500 mentioned. And so I said, we'll pursue it and we'll see what we can do, because I hadn't heard the $2,500 figure. And we have pursued it.
You have pursued.
Yeah.
No, I don't think,
I went back and talked to Brian, I went back and talked to Bobby Mullins,
Well,
and
go
we
ahead.
want to get it done, and we're going to try to get it done, so.
Well, if you wanted to get it done, why didn't you do it 2 years ago when it was brought up?
See, I want to say that's how our initial conversation started, Mr. Sloan. When you come in and you address me, you got defensive automatically over something that occurred several years ago. And then you accuse me of not wanting to help you with this issue because it was political favors. And I don't even know the property owner.
No, I
So
said you did.
me and you got off on the wrong foot initially because of things that happened several years ago. And my statement to you was basically help us raise the money to take care of this issue. And I think Bobby Mullins was involved in the conversation, and I think Bobby remembers it that way also. But that being said, this court has already voted on getting the legal documentations in place. So at this time, let us proceed with that. And if you'd like to come back, how long will it take, John Doe, to get the legal papers in motion?
Well, there's two matters that have to be done. First, I've got to do a title opinion, thanks to you, Magistrate Dodson. And I'll do that. I should be able to have that done within a week. Despite everything else that's going on here, I'll make every effort to do that. As soon as that title reveals the names of the property owners, whether it's one person or 10 people, then I've got to send out a letter which entitles the property owner to due process. We cannot do anything unless those are done. And at that point in time, it's in the hands of the folks over in solid waste. They'll have to proceed to see what they can do to line up the equipment and so forth and get the job done. But that'll be the part that I'll play in it.
I got one more thing to ask, and I will shut up. You may not believe it, but I will shut up. Bobby, on that fence up there that you had them to put up, well, his falling apart. And can you get him to put that fence up? Because somebody's going to get killed there.
If we come in there to clean the place,
I'm not talking about cleaning it up. I'm talking now. We need that taken care of now.
I can't do anything now until the legal work is done.
Darryl,
I
is
can't come
that
back
on,
the property.
Now have them put the fence up.
I can't come back on the property without
Darryl.
the legal work being
is
done.
that on the state highway, that fence?
Huh?
Ain't the fence right on the state highway?
I don't know. You'd have to.
We
check.
might be able to go through the state and get them to, I know they had barriers up there at one time, no parking. I don't know how much they own there, but we can go through that, you know, since it's a state road, and get the fence maybe took down. But, you know, I don't know how the money situation you're talking about got started. I've never asked you to raise any money, have I?
No, you haven't, Hill. You've been good.
And I don't think
You're good friends.
I don't think you need to raise the money. I think it's our responsibility.
Well,
And as we go through the channels, I think we will be able to clean that up for you. You know, we've got the wheels in motion to get it condemned and get the legal landowner, send them a notice, and if they don't clean it up, we go in and clean it up, and we retain the property as county property, but the taxes owed on it, we'll probably have to do something on that situation. I don't know, John, if it's a lot of taxes, how we do that? Do we have to pay it, or?
Let's assume we go through this whole procedure. Property owner doesn't come in and clean it up. We clean it up. We keep a detailed record of exactly what it costs the county. We then file a lien in the county clerk's office for that amount of money against that property, and then we pursue it from there. But if we pursue legal action, obviously the tax issues and all would be involved, because those are liens against the property also. It would be a matter of prioritization for the court then in any lawsuit which might ensue.
Well, all I can say is I tried, and if somebody gets killed up there, if that little baby dies, all this blood's on y'all's hands. And if I lose, just like I told you, that young couple, nice couple, if that place catch on fire, if it catch on fire at night, they're going to be burned up. Now, we put in a drain over at Phelps over a safety issue. Isn't that what that drain is putting Phelps over?
I don't know what you're talking about at Phelps. What are you talking about?
What do you put that, help put that drain in for that, on private property?
It wasn't on private property, it's on road property. You know, if you want to get into the issue, the bridge had fell in, the road was washing out, the guy bought the drain, we put it in.
Yeah.
And we've done that for years and years.
Okay.
Now, what are you talking about a kid getting bit with a snake? You live on the other side of the road.
There's a kid lives in that house over from me. It's a year old, Hillman.
Well, you know.
And if our house catches on fire, they're going to burn up. And here the county has saved $70,000 for closing the pools. And then we're giving a contractor an extra $2,000 for shoddy work. We borrowed $1.5 million, and we paid back $54,000 in interest. And Mr. Morris gets a longevity raise. But to keep us safe at Kemper, we're not worth $10,000.
I didn't say that, Darrell. I'm trying my best to help you, and I always have. I consider you as a friend that I can talk to, and I've not never neglected you. You know, we're doing everything we can, and we've always tried to help you. Well, you know,
Sir, I want to address that you said that Mr. Morris got longevity. That was because he had been formerly employed at the jail. And our administrative code says when you come back to work, you get your longevity back. We used to get it. For every year you're here, you got a percentage of an increase. We have not had one since 8, 9, and the last time we gave a cost of living was in the 11, 12, or 12, 13 year. So county employees have not had any sort of increase in that many years. But Mr. Morse was previously employed at the jail as a deputy.
How long have you been gone?
It doesn't matter. Our administrative code says if you're rehired, you get your longevity back.
Well, I'd like to have a job like that. Would you people like to have a job like that? Huh? I got some, that's my amen corner back there. Hey, boys, thank you.
All right.
Not only did Mr. Morse, Miss Thacker was previously employed. She got hers back. Anybody that comes back, hourly administrative, it is written in the code to get your longevity back.
Well, do y'all have a code of ethics?
Yes, sir, it's in our administrative code.
I have a copy of that.
Sure.
And, well,
Mr.
I'll
Sloan,
come back next time.
can I ask you one question before you leave, please? I just sent one simple question. When did me and you meet for the first time? When was the first time me and you ever had a conversation?
I think, what was it, last week?
Last week.
Yeah.
So I got no axe to grind with you.
I didn't.
I mean, if you was referring to me,
No, it's not you, sir.
I mean, I really, truly, I got no axe to grind with you.
It's not you, sir. If I had time, I could prove it. I'm not telling you something I cannot prove.
I appreciate your time, and check back in with the court around first, if you can, around 1st of July, and we'll let you know how the legal work's going.
When is the next meeting?
Honest with you, don't know yet. We're going to discuss it today, but I'd ask you, it's going to take Mr. Hayes probably 30 days to deal with the legal issues. If you could check back with the court around the 1st of July, that'll let us get through our budget meetings and get the budget in line. It'll give him time to get his paperwork in order. You can come by the courthouse like you did the first time we met last week.
No, I don't think I do. That didn't work out too
And
good.
I'll meet with you.
When I talk to you and somebody throws a paper at me in my face, that
Darryl.
almost done me in.
Thank you very much. We'll do what we can.
And if I offended anybody, I apologize.
Yeah,
Because, like I say, I've got a condition there.
All right.
Thank you, Mr.
For approval, discussion, acknowledgement of receipt of the Pike County Jail's Policy Procedure Manual. So, I haven't looked at it other than now. So I guess,
You need a motion to acknowledge?
motion to acknowledge.
Motion?
Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Varney?
Yes.
Judge Desk?
Yes. Second reading of proposed road ordinance for Prater Drive. John Doug?
Judge, I'll do that in summary form. It's an ordinance of the Pike County Fiscal Court adopting certain roads into the county road system. This is a road in District 3. The road name is Prater Drive. It's an existing county road. It'll be a 300-foot extension from the end of the present county road.
I need a motion to adopt the road ordinance.
Second?
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Yes. Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Varney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. First reading of proposed ordinance for 12 Oaks Drive. John Doe again.
Again, in summary form, this is an ordinance of the Pike County Fiscal Court adopting certain roads in the county road system. It's a road in District 5. The road name is 12 Oaks Drive. I believe that's off of Clevenger's branch, Hillman, in your district. That road is 293 feet in length and 15 feet in width. That is a first reading of the ordinance in summary form. It requires no further action of the court at this time.
Thank you, John. Adoption of a resolution for a CDBG grant for housing development project in Elkhorn City in the amount of up to $600,000 and authorization for the county judge executive to execute all documents. Lisa?
Judge, this is for the Pike County Housing. They have actually come up with, the budget is 5.6 for the renovation of the Elkhorn City High School, the old high school. It would bring in 27 units for low-income housing, and they were short about $600,000 on their budget. So they've come to the court asking if they could apply for a CDBG grant for the $600,000, and it does not bother any CDBGs with economic development or emergency relief funding.
Lisa, who owns the property?
The Pike County Housing,
This is the old Elkhorn City High School,
Correct.
the old Elkhorn City High School.
correct, and Pike
They-
County Housing owns the property.
They're going to turn
They
it
bought
in,
it, they purchased it from the school board, right?
Correct.
they're going to turn it into 28 apartments for Pike County Housing.
It'd be 20, actually 27 units. There'll be 12 one-bedroom units, 11 two-bedroom units, and 4 three-bedroom units.
I need a motion to adopt the resolution.
Motion. Motion.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dotson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. Approval for the county judge executive to execute agreements with NRCS for a non-emergency project at Grassy Creek at Raccoon, River Road at Mouthcard, and Widows Hollow at Phelps. I need a motion.
Motion.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dotson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. Approval for the county judge executive to
Hey,
execute.
Judge, on that previous one, on that question on that, those projects are large projects. It's not just a creek bank that broke off and stuff, and I think everybody needs to know that and understand that.
Yeah, one of the things, I've talked with Master Leo about it last week, these projects are, without giving the dollar amount out, is huge projects. And Pike County needs to attack this moving forward as in-kind work. I mean, we've sat down, we've done some math, it's
It's like we always done, ain't it?
yeah.
Hey, John Doug,
So,
do you
but
need
it's-
to address this?
No.
Okay. All right. Oh, let's see here. Discussion of the Pike County 2016, 2017 budget.
Judge, there's one above that we need to take up very quickly. Approve.
Do what? What? Oh. All right. Approval for the county judge executive to exercise the Kentucky Motor Vehicle Restricted Automotive Recycling Dealer Application. John Doug?
Judge, what this is, is we have a small business wanting to submit an application to the Kentucky Motor Vehicle Commission. It's an application for the use of property to put 10 junked, wrecked, or non-operative vehicles on the property, and what they intend to do is cannibalize and recycle all of that. The county has no zoning, but this part of this application requires that an appropriate official approve the application, and what the court would be approving is for the address at 1511 Stone Cold Road, Pikeville, Kentucky, and it would simply be stating that it's suitably and legally fit as a location which the applicant may engage in the business of dismantling, salvaging, or recycling salvaged vehicles for the purpose of harvesting used parts, components, assemblies, and recyclable materials for resale, reuse, or reclamation in accordance with the terms of all building codes, zoning, and other land use regulatory ordinances. I'm generally familiar with this area, but I therefore requested that Jimmy Kaiser actually go to this property and determine if it would be fit and legally fit and suitable. There being no zoning regulations, and Mr. Kaiser has reported back that in his opinion it would be, and I would therefore request a motion and a second approving your execution of this agreement.
John, will this have to be approved by the state?
The overall application, it's they probably killed 2 trees to have that. What was it, Jimmy? 13 pages long or 17? I don't remember, but it had many components. It has to have state authorization, and this is just one small part of that. Of course, what the state wants to be assured of is that this business would not violate zoning regulations. And it's not in a residential area, is it, Jimmy? It's where they've had coal trucks, et cetera. So in his opinion, it is fit for that purpose and won't harm anybody.
Would it have to have a fence around it, Jim?
Probably not. They're not gonna have that many cars there to start with. If they have one there, more than likely it's gonna be rebuilt and put back out with a salvage title or something of that nature. It's not gonna be a junkyard.
Be a junkyard?
But here it says I need a motion to approve.
Judge, I'm really not aware of what, it's just thrown on to me, so I can't vote for something and I don't know what's really gonna happen. I don't wanna I know we had a junkyard problem over on Big Creek one time, people putting cars on the mountain over there, and state came in and it was a big mess, and I'm afraid to get in on something I don't know about.
They don't have enough room for that. They've got a car lot, they got a body shop and stuff there in a car lot, and this is a thing to get their foot in the door. Later on for something else, it'll be at a completely different location.
Well, Jim, is this the first time this has ever happened to apply for a permit? I know we have car dealerships and body shops all over the county that have junk cars sitting out beside their business. Did they have a permit?
No, this is a whole different application is what they're going for. If they have a car there, it'll be one that's going to be, the way they told me, would be used and put back on the road with a salvage title or something of that nature. Now, they have to get this in to get their foot in the door. If later on down the road, several years later, if they decide to do a recycling place, it would be up in the, out of everybody's sight, a completely different location.
This the first time we've ever done this?
Yeah, to my knowledge on these. Now, I've signed several car lot. They have to get a car lot application. This is another part of a car lot application. That's my understanding of it.
I remember back years
They don't
years
have room to
state
put
got
a
strict on that stuff, and you had to get permits from the
junkyard
state
there.
to put in something like that, because I had a junkyard one time and they made me put a fence around.
They don't have room to put a junkyard at this location. They just don't have the room for it. This is just a one step for something 3, 4, 5 years on down the road. That'll be at a completely different location, out of sight, out of mind.
Why are they having to apply for a permit when it's happening all over the county? You see people buy cars and they park them beside their business and they redo them and they put them back out on the road.
This is for on down the road at a later date. And that's my understanding of what they're trying to do.
I had some reservations with Mr. Dodson on that, and I'd like to make a motion we table this next court meeting and let us look a little bit more on that.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Varney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. Discussion of the Pike County 2016-2017 budget.
If they got a different one for junkyards or
John,
not, this is automotive recycling.
They had this on here.
First one I ever heard.
I'll start off and say, I would like to meet for executive session first to talk about the Pacific personnel names that we need to discuss, and then after it, maybe we can open up for discussions on other issues. That's okay.
Bobby, we need a code to go into executive session.
Yes, sir. I make a motion then that we go into executive session according to KRS 61.810, paragraph C, proposed litigation, and paragraph F, personnel matters.
Specific personnel
Personnel.
Need a
matters.
motion.
I'm sorry about that.
Motion and a second.
Need a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskin?
Yes. We've been recessed. Magistrate road work, I guess.
Motion. I'll make a motion. Approve the road work.
Need a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Yes. Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskin?
Yes. All right. Magistrate's comments. Wait a
Judge,
minute, though. We
You got the awarding of
Frankie
bids
Stacy.
there,
You got any
Judge.
bidding? Okay, Frankie Stacy?
Judge, I've got two bids to present to the court. The first bid's bid number 18 of 2016 for 7 new 2017 leased tandem triaxle dump trucks. We received one bid from Worldwide Equipment. Total bid price per truck is $136,402. Total price for all 7 trucks would be $954,814. No exceptions to the bid specs, delivery within 30 days. My recommendation would be award the bid for the 7 new 2017 leased tandem triaxle dump trucks to Worldwide Equipment for the total bid price of $954,814. Second bid is bid number 19. It's for 3 new 2017 leased roll-off transfer trucks for solid waste. Received one bid from Worldwide Equipment. Total bid price per truck, $156,981. The total price for 3 trucks would be $455,637. And my recommendation would be award the bid for the 3 new 2017 leased roll-off transfer trucks to Worldwide Equipment. Total bid price would be $455,637.
Frankie, can you kind of explain this lease thing to me again?
Basically, what happens is we buy trucks, we pay the interest on the lease for 1 year, and then we take those trucks back to auction, and then the proceeds from the sale at the auction pays off the former year lease, and then you take out a new year lease. The leases usually, the auction company will guarantee that usually no matter what the sale at auction would be, you would be guaranteed 90% of what you paid for the truck back out of the resale of it. During the downturn in the economy, we were eating the whole 10%, but speaking to Jeff Belcher at Worldwide, he said that Perry County took their trucks back and actually got more for the truck than they paid for the trucks from last year's sale. So he said the auction in March did really well, and he expects ours to do about the same. So we should have, the trucks go back somewhere, I think around the 25th or 26th of this month. He has arranged the dump trucks that we should be able to pick those up while we're down there and then drive those back. I don't know if it'll be 6 or all 7, and then I'm not sure about the roll-off trucks yet of when we'll get those, because they have to do the bodies and stuff on those, the roll-off part. So, but no later than 30 days on the roll-offs. The dump truck should be available when we go to drop the other ones off for the sale at the auction. The auction will be the 6th of June, and then we'll know how they sold then.
Now, and we don't know what this year's is going to bring, but in the years past, how have we came out on that? Is it, I mean, there's no way we could buy these trucks and come out like that, is there?
I think last year, Frankie, if I'm not mistaken, I think last year it was 6 trucks.
Last year we did 7 dump trucks and 2 roll-off transfer trucks.
These were brand-new units, and I think last year the total cost was $40,000 to the county for all the use of these vehicles. I think that was the correct number, wasn't it, John?
On the road department it was, because I think there was like 7,000 apiece is what it ended up
So we
coming out
used
to
these
on them.
vehicles all year for $7,000 apiece.
Right.
With the year warranty.
Year
if we
warranty,
was out
yeah.
any, any, so, you know,
right.
last year was a win-win, and you're saying this year they're saying that, that we may even come out ahead.
Right, yeah, they said that the dump truck sold better this year than even last year. And another thing is the price on the roll-offs is about $5,000 cheaper
Yeah,
than
I
what the
seen
new
that note
price
on
was
there.
last year. So that helps too.
Okay, thank you, Frankie. All right, I make a motion then that we accept the 2 bids that Frankie described just now.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskin?
Yes.
Judge, if I
Yes.
may, having awarded those bids, we need, in conjunction with the award of those bids, approve a resolution approving a lease for the financing of a project and authorizing the execution of various documents related to such lease. That's what the bids were all about.
Yeah.
And it's a form resolution. It's one this court has done every year since we've been into these arrangements, and I would recommend that the court adopt the resolution to that effect. I can read it. It's rather lengthy, but it's essentially to do what this court intends to do. You've already awarded the bids. Now we need to authorize the execution of the documents which will effectuate that.
I'll make a motion.
John Doug, we started that truck deal in '04, I believe,
That's worked out real well.
and it's good, a great job.
I think some years, Frankie, we've actually made money ourselves on selling those trucks back.
Yeah,
have we
some
not?
years they make money on them.
Frankie, you say we've got to take them back this month?
I think the expected date that they're taking them back for Memorial Day is like right at the end of the month would be the 25th to drive them down and then come back on the 26th, and then that would
Have you already,
Wednesday and Thursday.
have you already made contact with the road foremen and told them to get them cleaned up and get them ready to go? And
I've told
have we
Jackie
set
that
up arrangements of driving them down? Jimmy usually takes care of a lot of that.
Yeah.
If we get the magic.
I've talked to some of them. He seemed to be acting like he was going to do it. I don't know if he has or not. I was going to talk to him this week about it.
I know I've been involved in it in the past. It's a pretty good task if you
We need a second on
get it all set up and get them all. Well, you got about 8 or 9 trucks are going at one time.
Well, we'll have 9 and, 10 coming back. You getting your dump truck? We'll have 10 coming back if they got them all ready.
Yeah.
We need a
They'll get
second on
started
John
on it this
Doug's
week.
motion.
We've got a motion, right?
Yeah, I made a motion.
I'll second it.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskin?
Yes. All right, magistrate's comments.
Judge,
Jeff?
I have no comments.
Johnson?
Don't have anything.
Leo?
Not this time.
Kenneth?
Judge, I'd just like to let the people know that due to all the rain we've had in the last little bit, we're doing the best we can to try to get the roads repaired and get the people in and out and get the weeds cut. We're getting a lot of calls on our weeds. They're growing leaps and bounds, all the rain. But we will get to them as we can. We've got a pattern. And I just want to let them know that we're working at it, and we've got a good crew of people out there, and just bear with us. Thank you.
All right. Bobby?
Yes, Judge, the same thing with the weeds. My mower has been down, and they couldn't get a part in for it, and I think they finally got it in, so maybe I'll get to cut some weeds, but I've got several phone calls the last week or so about that. And we've had this last rain that we had last week, even my personal property at my house, I had a big slip come in between my mother's trailer and my home, and done a lot of damage. Sidney Cole sent a crew out, and they've looked at it, and maybe be a mine-related thing, so we're going through that process. a couple other places in Mead House, one in Mead House, one in Pigeon Roost. We had some drains it's private drains, and they've got tore up and stuff, and I'm, unless it's going to do some damage to my county road, I told them I feel for them and I'll pray for them, but that's about all I can do for them right now. But we've got a great road crew over in District 6, and they are working every day at different little things like that. But just be patient with me. We'll get around to you.
Thank you. Treasurer's business.
Authorize the necessary transfers and interfund transfers to pay the bills, payroll, health, life, dental, and FEBCO and vision.
Motion.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Yes. Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Burney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes.
Acknowledge receipt of the clerk and the sheriff's 2550 reports for the month of April.
Motion to acknowledge.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Yes. Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Burney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. All right.
Authorize when Stone Heritage receives $28,975 from the coal severance projects funding program, House Bill 265, Project ID B as in boy 672, that we be authorized to pass it through to them when it's receipted.
Now, Lisa, this is something that's already had, that we're just passing this through, right? Yes. I'll make a motion to that.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Burney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes.
Authorized to reimburse John Doug Hayes for $20 for recording a deed at the Scott Fort property.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Yes. Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Burney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes.
We need a check for $1,000 to the Kentucky State Treasurer for the Kentucky Division of Water for a fee application for a water quality certification, River Road at Mouthcard.
Whoa.
Need a motion?
Yes, sir.
Motion.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Yes. Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Burney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes.
I have no further business, Judge.
You finished, honey?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Brian?
Hey, John, I got a question, if you don't care. Have you heard back from Kelly on insurance rates or anything?
One more piece of information. He's going to try and get United Healthcare's to use that as leverage on Anthem. So as soon as I get him those last couple of numbers, he'll be getting us the quotes.
I'm sure by the end of the month, you think?
Yeah.
Has he gave you a quote on United yet?
No, not yet. He needs these last numbers from me to get that.
No, the only thing, Judge, I have is just to let county workers know that we are at a deficit here at the county, and me and John Doug and the judge has worked on it the last couple of weeks. We met in executive session, and we discussed 20 to 25 specific names. And moving forward, we probably need to set up another work session to pinpoint the personnel and discuss moving forward into the budget.
These are my recommendations and my motion. Need a
Judge,
second.
I believe the court decided, Jeannie, at the last meeting that we would have another special meeting on the 23rd, so that'll be our,
Next Monday.
Next Monday at what, 10 a.m.?
yeah, and the court, by way of further explanation to what the deputy judge just said, for the first time, they've heard all 20 to 25 specific names of employees that would be affected by layoff. And the court needs some time, which is reasonable, to go over this and see what proposals they want to make when we meet again.
All right, that's my motion.
Okay, we're going to have another special call meeting Monday, the 23rd at 10 o'clock a.m. Is that right? Right, we need you made a motion on that effect, Judge? I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Varney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. All right. Commissioners and directors, their comments? You, none, no, none, none. All right. County Attorney's report. All right. Pike County Judge Executive's comments. I don't have much to talk about. There's just not much to talk about. All right. All right. My motion, nothing. Adjournment. I need a motion in a
Motion.
second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy? Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson? Mr. Varney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. We be adjourned.